Welcome, one and all, to TAW Gaming. My name is JoshAgeddon, and these are my Wrestlemania XL predictions. This is not going to be an episode of the TAP, unless for some... If this goes for an hour for some reason, then I'll make it a TAP episode, but hopefully this won't be more than 20 minutes, but I do ramble a lot, so... and the whole reason why I'm doing... Normally, I would not do a prediction video for a WWE pay-per-view, but since... it's kind of an ongoing story. This would be a trilogy of videos at this point, because it started back on the SmackDown after the Royal Rumble, where The Rock was basically like, "Hey, Cody, that's a nice WrestleMania main event you got there. I want it. It's mine now. No backsies." And Cody was like, "Yes, sir. I'll give it to you, but not before I bend over in front of you. And just let you absolutely rail me in front of all of the viewers. And then I'm going to leave looking as sad as humanly possible." And I reacted to that with a video where I threw away all of my WWE DVDs. And for those of you wondering, I had some people wondering if I actually did that or if I was just being hyperbolic. That was a shoot. I legitimately threw away all of my WWE DVDs. Although I will admit, like, I fully 100% intended to have them go to the dump because I was so pissed off. But I will admit that the next day, my mom's boyfriend was like, "Hey, if you don't want those anymore, can I have them?" And I was like, "I don't give a fuck who has them. I don't want them. Have fun. You and your boys can have my wrestling DVDs. Enjoy." I even gave his 10-year-old my 2 wrestling belts, so... that just shows you the headspace I was in. In retrospect, do I regret doing that? No. No, I do not. Yes, WWE has largely pivoted away from that god-awful decision they made, but they still did that. So, even though they have gone full-on, "My bad, what we did was really stupid, we're trying to fix it, bear with us," and I appreciate them and I respect them for doing that, they still did that monumentally stupid segment on SmackDown that nearly ruined WrestleMania. And I'm still a little pissed off about it. I still have some bad taste in my mouth from that. And I once again, I do not regret canceling my Peacock subscription or getting rid of my DVDs. Because again, that was just beyond... that was a couple steps beyond the pale. That was on the same level of stupid as having Goldberg defeat The Fiend. So that's where I was at. And then I made the follow-up video about the press conference in Las Vegas. So this is the third video on this, just wanting to keep up me talking about WrestleMania. So yeah, we're going to get into the WrestleMania card here, and I'm going to give my predictions. I'm not gonna get too in-depth with every single match, but I will give two things. Like, there are going to be 2 categories: what I want to happen and what I think is going to happen. So my predictions are really going to be what I think is going to happen, but I will say what I think should happen, what I do want to happen. And I have a little bonus thing at the end of this, so enjoy. So we start off with WrestleMania XL Night 1, and yes, I'm calling it Night 1 and Night 2, because, in my opinion, WrestleMania Saturday and WrestleMania Sunday is fucking stupid. And I hate it. I'm never going to refer to it as Saturday and Sunday. It's Night 1 and Night 2. Can we do nothing right? But I digress. So, on Night 1, we have Rhea Ripley defending the WWE Women's World Championship against Becky Lynch. What do I want to happen? Obviously, I want Rhea Ripley to win. I adore Rhea Ripley. I think, in my opinion, and what I think is fairly obvious if you have 2 eyes and ears, Rhea Ripley is the biggest thing in women's wrestling. It's not even close. There is no comparison. She is easily the biggest star on either brand in WWE. And although a little bit to her detriment, she has really not had all that much to work with during her title reign. Like, her best match outside of her versus Charlotte last year has been against Nia Jax. When your title reign, which is almost a year long at this point, when your best match is against Nia Jax, that says to me that you have a little bit of a shallow roster problem. But, so yeah, I want Rhea Ripley to retain, but my prediction, I honestly, it could go either way. I could totally see them giving this to Becky Lynch, basically to freshen things up, and to give other people a chance, because Becky Lynch would have more, like, Rhea's beaten everyone, Becky hasn't beaten everyone. Becky has not been as dominant, and they're also running with the whole, Rhea Ripley isn't wrestling every week, and Becky is wrestling every week, so they could very well give the title to Becky Lynch, but I'm going to go with the safe bet on this one, and my prediction is that Rhea Ripley will retain. I want Rhea to retain, and I think Rhea will retain. So I think she's gonna hit her with a rip. It might take 2 Riptides. They might do a repeat of last year and do a super Riptide. I don't know, but I do think Rhea Ripley is going to retain. We also have Gunther defending the WWE Intercontinental Championship against Sami Zayn. Should have been Chad Gable, but I love Sami Zayn and all, but it should have been Chad Gable. It would have been a better match. It would have been a better story, but once again, I digress. They went with Sami, and I feel like this is an absolute layup. I want Gunther to retain, and I absolutely 100% think Gunther is going to retain. So Sami Zayn basically has no chance of winning against Gunther. Who is going to beat Gunther? I don't know. I would love for it to be Chad Gable at like SummerSlam or something. But again, I don't know. But as for WrestleMania, Gunther is retaining. I 100% believe that. After that, we have the Judgment Day defending the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship against DIY, The Miz and R-Truth, The New Day, A-Town Down Under, and the New Catch Republic in a 6-pack tag team ladder match, and I am very much looking forward to this. Like, Sean and Skylar are probably going to skip this match because they hate fun. But this is going to be fun. We have not had a huge car crash ladder match in a while, especially at WrestleMania. And I'm very much looking forward to it. Who do I want to win? I would love for DIY to win. I would love for Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa to win the tag team titles. I would also be cool with the Judgment Day retaining. But what do I think is going to happen? Unfortunately, I believe my prediction is that The Miz and R-Truth are going to win the tag team titles, because for some reason, everyone loves R-Truth and his goofy-ass antics. I don't get it. It's very over. I will not deny that, but I like R-Truth. I respect R-Truth. He's been around forever, but I hate his comedy shtick at this point. It is so old and overplayed, but people love him because people are stupid. So I think they're going to give the tag team titles to The Miz and R-Truth, and I'm going to be sad, but hopefully I'll be wrong, and Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa will win, or the Judgment Day will retain. I'll even accept Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate winning, even though their tag team name, New Catch Republic, is kind of stupid. That's a stupid tag team name. The New Day sucks, and Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are just there. So my prediction is that the Awesome Truth will win the tag team titles, and I'll be sad. A lot of people have been saying, what if one team rips down one half of the tag team titles, the Raw belts, and a different team rips down the SmackDown belts, and we split the tag? Don't do that. Please, WWE, do not split the tag team titles. I'm over that gimmick. Just have one tag team championship that can float between brands. It's the same thing you're doing with the women's tag team titles that no one gives a shit about. Just keep the tag team titles just one title. So, again, my prediction is the Awesome Truth. Up next, perhaps the match that I'm looking forward to the least, the one that I care about the least, Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso, or as they would love to have you say, and I refuse to, Yeet versus No Yeet. I'm not looking forward to this matchup at all. Who do I want to win? Double countout or double disqualification? They both go to the hospital, and I just don't care. I'm just kidding. I like Jey Uso, so I do want him to win, and I absolutely think this is another one of those where it's kind of a layup. Jey Uso is my prediction to win. He's going to finish him off with the Uso splash. But I really don't care about this match at all. Like, the story between these two has honestly sucked. Because, and it sucked for a while now, because back at Money in the Bank last year, when, or actually at Clash of Champions in Saudi Arabia last year, Jimmy was the first one to turn on Roman. And then Jay turned on Roman, and they had that Money in the Bank tag team match, which I thought was really good. And Jey Uso pinned Roman Reigns and got an absolute mega pop. And then Jimmy at SummerSlam, for no reason at all, turned on Jay just so Roman could retain the title and they can have a little bit more drama with the bloodline, even though it made no sense. And they tried to explain it a little bit, and it still made no sense. And then they turned Jimmy Uso into a huge, massive fucking dork. And I hate it. I hate super goofy dork Jimmy Uso who's just a loser. I hate it. And I do not care at all about this match. But I think it's fairly obvious that Jay is going to win. Up next, we have a 6-woman tag team match. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Damage Control, Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. Once again, I think this is I absolutely think this is a layup. I want Jade Cargill's team to win, and it's obvious. Jade Cargill's team is going to win. That's my prediction. Jade is probably going to pin Dakota Kai with Jaded, so that'll be that. Then we have the LWO, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. I'm morbidly curious about this match. Not as on I think it's going to be so bad it's going to be funny, but I think this might actually be the sleeper hit of the night. I think this is going to be a really good match, even though my dislike of Santos Escobar is not a secret. But I do think this will be a good tag team match. Who do I want to win? This is honestly a tough one. This is a tough one. I would be totally fine with either team winning. But Rey Mysterio pinned Dominic last year. So, me personally, I would have Dominic pin either Rey or Dragon Lee. I would have Dominic win. And Santos is just there for some reason. I want Dominic to win this year because he lost last year, and Dominic needs a WrestleMania win. I've really come around on Dominic Mysterio. He's gotten so good as Dirty Dominic. What do I think is going to happen? Again, I have no idea. It could go either way. They really want to push Dragon Lee. So they might have... what I think is going to happen... Rey Mysterio is probably going to end up pinning Santos Escobar because Santos pinned Rey Mysterio on SmackDown a couple weeks ago. So I want Dominic to win, but my prediction is that Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee are going to win, and Rey is going to get revenge on Santos. So that's my prediction for that. Then we have the main event of Night 1. The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in a tag team match. I am this is probably the match on Night 1 that I'm looking forward to the most. It's been the most well-built to for this WrestleMania. It's been the most interesting. It's probably the match I'm looking forward to the whole weekend the most. But, and again, if Cody and Seth win, then the Bloodline is banned from ringside during the main event of Night 2. But if The Rock and Roman Reigns win, then Night 2's main event is going to be Bloodline rules, which basically means all 85 of their family members can get involved at their leisure. What do I want to happen? Okay. I would love if Cody Rhodes would pin The Rock. And then pin Roman Reigns the following night. If I was booking this show, I would have Cody Rhodes pin The Rock, and then I would have him pin Roman Reigns. Because that would really, really get Cody Rhodes over as the big star of the company. That is what I want to happen. But that is not what's going to happen. That is absolutely not what is going to happen. My prediction is Roman Reigns is probably going to pin Seth Rollins. I am forecasting a pretty bad weekend for Mr. Seth Rollins here. I think Seth is going to get pinned on both nights. But yeah, I think Roman Reigns is going to pin Seth Rollins, making the Night 2 main event a Bloodline Rules match. So that is what I think is going to happen for Night 1. Now we move on to Night 2. Seth Rollins defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Drew McIntyre. Who do I want to win? I want Drew McIntyre to win so bad. Drew McIntyre more than deserves it. He is so hilariously awesome right now. He absolutely deserves to be the World Heavyweight Champion. What I want to happen is I want him to pin Seth Rollins. Then I want Damian to try to cash in Money in the Bank, and then Drew McIntyre pins him too. Because at this point, I kind of hate Money in the Bank. It's a nuisance. It's a distraction. And they've been doing it every year for almost 20 years now. Can we have a break from Money in the Bank? We're not, because they have a Money in the Bank pay-per-view scheduled, because of course. But I would love to go a couple years with no Money in the Bank. What do I think is going to happen? Obviously, I want Drew to win. What do I think is going to happen? I think that since CM Punk is going to be on commentary, I think that Drew McIntyre is going to beat Seth Rollins. Again, it's going to be a very bad weekend for Seth Rollins. I think Drew is going to pin Seth Rollins and win the world title, only for CM Punk to do something. CM Punk is going to do something. I don't know if he's going to be able to get him up for the GTS with his injury, but I do think CM Punk is going to attack Drew McIntyre, which opens the door for Damian Priest to cash in Money in the Bank and win the world title. So I do think that Damian Priest is leaving WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion. I think Drew McIntyre is going to be the champion for 3 minutes. So that is my prediction for that. Up next, we have Io Sky defending the WWE Women's Championship against Bayley. I think this is another layup. I want Bayley to win because she deserves it, and I think Bayley is going to win. My prediction is Bayley. After that, we have what I think is what could possibly be the sleeper hit of Night 2, LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Once again, I think this is an absolute layup. 100% I want LA Knight to win, and I think LA Knight is going to win. My prediction is LA Knight. They need to give him a win like this over a former champion on a big stage like WrestleMania. So I think LA Knight absolutely needs this, and I think that's the direction they're going. AJ Styles does not need a win here, and a loss isn't going to ruin him. AJ has been around wrestling forever. He can absolutely survive the loss. LA Knight, I do not think would survive a loss to AJ Styles, so that is my prediction. Up next, we have Logan Paul defending the WWE United States Championship against Randy Orton and Kevin Owens in a triple threat match. I would rather this be Logan Paul versus Randy Orton one-on-one, but I am not opposed to the triple threat match, even though Kevin Owens is only in this match just to give him something to do at WrestleMania and the previous feud that he's had with Logan Paul. Logan Paul, I want to retain, and I think he's going to retain. So my prediction is Logan Paul. I think Randy Orton is going to hit an RKO on Kevin Owens, get brass nut punched by Logan Paul, and then Logan's going to pin Kevin Owens. So I do think Logan Paul is going... Or Logan Paul could very well pin Randy Orton. But I do want this to lead to maybe at Backlash, maybe at Money in the Bank, Logan Paul versus Randy Orton one-on-one. So Randy Orton can put over Logan Paul. The person that should take the U.S. title from Logan Paul should be LA Knight. I still believe... honestly, it should have been the WrestleMania match this year, Logan Paul versus LA Knight for the U.S. title. But they might be holding off on that, and I do think that LA Knight should be the one to take the title from Logan Paul. So Logan Paul is going to retain. Up next, the match that I am absolutely... on Night 1, the match I'm looking forward to least is Jimmy and Jay. On Night 2, I'm probably going to skip this match. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus The Final Testament, Karrion Kross and AOP, in a 6-man tag Philadelphia street fight. Who the fuck could possibly care about this match? Poor Bobby Lashley. That's what I think. Poor Bobby Lashley. It's bad enough that he's stuck with Shitty and Poopy, but he's going up against The Final Testament. And The Final Testament is such a shitty name for a group. That is such a first draft name. But it is what it is. I want Bobby Lashley to spear the shit out of Karrion Kross and pin him, and I believe that is what's going to happen. I think... actually, I'm not exactly sure what is going to happen. I want Bobby to win, but Either Bobby's going to pin Karrion Kross, or Karrion Kross is going to pin one of the Street Profits. And I can go 50-50 on that. But, because I feel bad for Bobby Lashley, I think that Bobby Lashley is going to win. But I could absolutely be wrong. I could see the Final Testament getting a win, because they do need a win to establish them, even though no one gives a shit about any of them. This is poor Bobby Lashley, the match, and I just feel bad for the guy. But after that, we have our main event. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Oh, you know what? It's the WWE Championship. I'm so done with the Universal Championship. I literally made a podcast several years ago ranting about the Universal Championship. My opinion has not changed. Like, just drop the Undisputed and Universal from the name of that fucking belt. It's the WWE title. So, what do I think is going to happen here, and what do I want to happen? Obviously, I want Cody Rhodes to win this match. Cody Rhodes he should already be champion. He should have won last year. Honestly, this WrestleMania I would have been cool if Roman Reigns was challenging Cody Rhodes for the title in a rematch from last year. I would have been cool if that's what the direction they went. But we have what we have. It's Roman defending against Cody again. Cody should absolutely win this match. But what is my prediction? My prediction is that Roman Reigns is going to retain. As much as I hate it, my prediction is that Roman Reigns is going to retain, because WWE is always going to WWE. Yes, they have pivoted away from the dumb shit that would have been Roman Reigns versus The Rock, which they are probably going to do next year. But I don't see any chance in hell of Cody winning this match. I have no faith. Until I am shown otherwise, I have no faith. I refuse to be butt-fucked again, like last year. So, I want Cody to win, but my prediction is that Roman Reigns is walking out of WrestleMania, still the WWE Champion, and that concludes my predictions for WrestleMania, but I do want to say this. I am going to be watching Night 1 on Saturday after I get home from work. So, I am going to watch Night 1. I might watch Night 2. If Roman Reigns does defeat Cody Rhodes again, then I'm not watching Night 2, because I'm not going to waste my fucking time. I am not going to sit down and waste my Sunday or my Monday. If I were to watch Night 2, it would probably be on Monday, because I work on Sunday night, and when I get home, I'll probably just go to bed. But on Monday, if Roman Reigns is still champion, I'm not watching, because I'm not going to waste my Monday. I have better things to do than waste my time with this dumbass shit. If Cody does win, which I doubt, if Cody does win, then I will watch Night 2 of WrestleMania. Yes, I'll be spoiling the result of the main event, but at this point, I don't care. I just want Cody Rhodes to finally win this goddamn belt so we can all move on with our lives. You know that Cody wants to move on from the story. He wants to tell other stories. And I love Roman Reigns, but I am sick and tired of him as champion. I am sick of him as champion. You can do interesting bloodline stuff without him being champion. So, and this also feeds into whether or not there will be a review of WrestleMania on this channel. If Cody wins, there will be a WrestleMania XL review on TAW Gaming. Me, Sean, and Skylar will do a long-ass review of WrestleMania 40, if Cody wins. If Roman wins, there will not be a review of WrestleMania on this channel. Because again, I'm not going to waste my time with this dumb shit if Roman is still champion. If Roman is still champion, you can listen to the Court Martial podcast, because they will likely have a review of WrestleMania 40 on their channel, and I will send the briefest of brief notes to their channel, because again, fuck that shit if Roman wins, which he probably will, it's probably going to be a long time before I watch anything WWE related for a while. it is going to be a couple of years before I give this company another chance, because just, it would be such a massive fuck you if Roman wins to the entire audience, which is why I think they're going to do it, because this is WWE. And they have some sick fascination with keeping this belt on Roman Reigns, even though he doesn't need it anymore. Just, I would love it if Cody would win. But he's not going to. I don't believe it. Nope, not even for a single second. Roman is probably going to retain, and I'm going to be done with WWE for a while. So that is my prediction for WrestleMania 40. Kind of dour. Not exactly a chipper or happy video, but those are my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think is going to happen at WrestleMania? Leave your predictions down below. How badly do you think Cody Rhodes is going to be buried at WrestleMania? Comment down below. I'm excited to see your responses. But now, just because I'm done talking about WrestleMania 40, that does not mean I am done with this video. Because I mentioned Shawn and Skylar. I am now going to be stealing one of their gimmicks, as I am one to do. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some news. Roll that intro that I'm about to fucking steal.
Coming straight to you from the
Heath Springs, South Carolina.
This is the Wrestle News with
JoshAgeddon. Get wrecked, libtards! Okay, they're gonna be they are gonna kill me after this. Go subscribe to the Court Martial Podcast. Go like, go share, go follow the Court Martial Podcast. They do awesome videos. They're probably going to review WrestleMania. And also go subscribe, like, comment, subscribe to Super Jam Session V2 and CIW Colonial Impact Wrestling. The links for all of this will be in the description. The reason why I'm breaking into a news segment is because I want to talk about something that happened on Monday night. CM Punk went on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, and my God, it was interesting. Yes, Rhea Ripley also made an appearance, and they did an angle with Becky Lynch. I don't give a shit about that. No disrespect to Rhea and Becky. That is not what anyone was talking about. What everyone was talking about was CM Punk and his comments on what went down at AEW. Now, granted, he was not legally allowed to talk about Brawl Out, the brawl between him and the Young Bucks from 2022. So he didn't talk about that because, again, legally he can't. But everything else, he talked about a lot more than I thought he was going to. He talked about the whole situation with Jack Perry. He talked about the thing with Hangman Adam Page, the whole thing at Wembley, just so much, and he basically buried AEW and Tony Khan 6 feet deep beneath the earth, possibly lower. It might take a while for us to dig them out of there. Why would you dig them out from underneath the earth instead of leaving them to rot like they deserve? I don't know. But man, CM Punk went in on them, and props to Ariel Helwani for not holding back. This was not like a media scrum in AEW where Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez are performing fellatio on Tony Khan the entire time. Ariel Helwani went in, and CM Punk even said he's not super comfortable with all these questions. But in credit to CM Punk, he answered questions. He was honest. And again, this was just a very fascinating interview. If you want to watch the whole thing, it is on YouTube, and you can go watch it. It is the MMA Hour with CM Punk. Go watch it on YouTube. And basically, he said a bunch of stuff that me, Shawn, Skylar, Jim Cornette, a whole bunch of other people. I listened to the Solid Monster, some stuff that the Solid Monster has been saying, and just went in deep on AEW and Tony Khan. Essentially, and I'm not going to play-by-play every little thing that CM Punk said, but I do want to touch on the high points. He also, I will bring up, he did talk about the Vince McMahon allegations, and I do want to, I'll briefly touch on that. But the meat of the matter was AEW. Basically, CM Punk explained that, as far as Jack Perry is concerned, Basically, Jack Perry was yelling at people backstage because he wanted to do a spot with a rental car, and break the glass with a wrench or a tire iron for some reason, because breaking glass is cool when it's not Stone Cold that does it. I don't know. And basically, CM Punk was like, dude, this is a rental car. Whoever rented this to us, they're going to be pissed. You're going to put people out. This is a bad idea. If you want to do something like this, do it on Wednesday's show. We're not going to do it here. And apparently Jack was like, all right, fine, whatever. And then at Wembley, went off and did the now notorious, look at that, it's real glass, cry me a river, because he's a fucking idiot. And CM Punk was basically like, and this was a running theme when CM Punk was talking about AEW. Multiple times he would look to Tony Khan and say, can you handle that? Where Tony Khan would respond with, what do you want me to do about it? And I'm just like, dude, you're the fucking boss of the company. Like, what do you mean? What do you want me to do about it? Tell them to stop. You pay their fucking bills. You fucking spineless amoeba. You useless dumbass. You fucking coward. Oh my god. The main thing I took from this entire thing was Tony Khan is such a spineless fucking loser. A spineless, yellow-bellied pile of nothing. That is Tony Khan. And the quote that I really got from this was CM Punk saying, should have been handled. 110% agree. Now, I did lose respect for CM Punk over the way he handled it. Because again, I blame everyone that was involved in that whole situation, both that and Brawl Out, and the whole rant that he went on while he was eating brownies. The whole situation was handled poorly, but in all fairness, CM Punk did say, you better handle this, because if I handle it, you're not going to like the way that I handle it. Prophetic words, ladies and gentlemen. And CM Punk actually did say prophetic words. So, yeah, basically CM Punk just elaborated and just, again, what's blatantly obvious if you're paying attention, that Tony Khan just does not know how to run a business. And CM Punk even said, and I agree, AEW is not a business. It's a vanity project. It is literally Tony Khan playing with his action figures. And I 100% agree with CM Punk's statement that AEW is going to be around until Tony Khan gets tired of it. That even if they lose their TV rights deal, which is very possible because AEW's ratings have been shit and their attendance has been shit for a while now, so I won't be surprised if they get a new TV deal, because Time Warner apparently is run by a bunch of dumbasses. But Tony Khan is going to keep doing AEW until either his dad takes his money back, or Tony Khan just like, all right, I want to play with something else now, and leaves AEW to rot. But I fully expect one day to like look at like the TV, like the same thing that happened to Impact, where Impact ended up on Pop TV, the TV Guide channel. The channel where the entire point of the channel is to see what else is on. I could totally see Dynamite or Rampage or Collision, or AEW, whatever AEW show. AEW Explosion, AEW Diarrhea, whatever, it being on Pop TV. And Tony Khan still thinking that nothing is wrong. He also elaborated on... Well, another thing I thought was interesting was the fact that during the whole Hangman Adam Page thing, he peeled back the curtain a little bit, and he didn't want to, which I respect him for wanting to maintain kayfabe, as impossible as that is to do in this day and age. But he basically was like, we went over what we were going to talk about backstage, and then we went to the ring, and it was hard to hear him because everyone is so loud, but he didn't say anything that we agreed on. And I had what I was supposed to say, but I couldn't say it because it wouldn't have made sense with what he was saying. So we both had to go off script. And even in the promo, I was like, dude, what are you doing? And then backstage, they were like, Punk was like, why did you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you shit on this company like that? And that's where the whole issue started. And again, Punk was like, Tony, please handle this, because you're not going to like the way that I handle it if I have to handle it. And it was never handled, and it turned into the ugly mess that it is today. And AEW still hasn't recovered from it. AEW still has not recovered from that. One thing that I just got a huge laugh out of that was the fact that when CM Punk was MIA, before he made his return to AEW, brief return to Collision, when he went to visit friends on Raw, because Bayley invited him, the fact that apparently people in AEW saw it as a betrayal. Motherfucker, you hate him. How is it a betrayal when most of the locker room wanted CM Punk to leave? Just, you're the reason why he's not there. Like, if this company had any semblance of structure or competency, maybe CM Punk wouldn't have done that. Just a bunch of crybabies, a bunch of whiners, and a bunch of fucking mentally redacted dipshits. That is what AEW is, just a bunch of morons. It's a company full of morons run by a bunch of morons. And number one leader moron, just Tony Khan, just the cream de la crop of morons. And AEW is never going to improve as long as Tony Khan's in charge. Because, again, like CM Punk said, and another quote that I absolutely agree with, if you are happy that you are getting a 5-star review from some goof, even though you're only selling out 1/4 of the arena, we're not in the same business. That is all AEW cares about. They're not in this to make money. They're not in this to sell tickets. They're not in this to get people over. They're in there to masturbate with their friends. And the indie fans who think that what they do is hot shit. They're in there to have fun. It is a sandbox. It is absolutely a playground for these jackoffs to go out, just to roll around and do their indie-rific bullshit, which I'm not going to lie, some of the stuff that they do, like, the match, like, I watched Revolution a couple months ago, and I enjoyed some of the matches. I enjoyed Will Ospreay and, I think it was Will Ospreay and Takeshita. I enjoyed that match. There wasn't a story at all, but I enjoyed the match, and I like Will Ospreay. I like Okada. I don't give a single solitary shit about Mercedes Moné, probably the most overrated women's wrestler in a while. But there are people in AEW that I still like. It's sad. Like, I like Adam Copeland. I like Christian Cage. But it's just sad seeing them waste away in a company that is never going to go anywhere, is never going to amount to anything, because the guy in charge doesn't know what the fuck he's doing and doesn't care. And the Young Bucks and their friends are never going to let anyone get more popular than them. They're never going to let it succeed because they want to be the centerpiece. And as long as they and the dumb shit they like is the centerpiece, AEW is always going to be what it is. So that company is just doomed for failure. And it was just, honestly, it was cathartic seeing CM Punk just absolutely rip them a new asshole. And again, he was just being honest. It wasn't like he just randomly started going on a tirade. He was asked. Ariel Helwani asked him questions, and CM Punk was willing to answer. One thing I did think was funny was that they pointed out, like, well, Ariel's to some effect was like, I'm sorry if these questions are making you uncomfortable. And Punk was like, well, I'm not going to come on here and say, well, I'm not going to answer that for 90 minutes, because that didn't accomplish anything. Mocking Tony Khan's appearance, because Tony Khan at one point was on Ariel Helwani's show and refused to answer anything for like an hour. And I can only imagine that if Ariel Helwani had hair, he would have ripped all of it out. Because Tony Khan makes me want to rip my hair out. And yeah, and the whole thing just sucks. And you could just tell, like, CM Punk's posture, his body language, the way he was talking, he was so disappointed. You could see sadness written all over this dude. Like, if only AEW was a serious company. And maybe they could have done... They did do great things. Like, the whole feud with MJF was great. That was the best thing AEW has ever done. And then they ruined all of it, and are still continuing to ruin it to this day. And, like, it was cathartic, but it was also kind of sad, because Punk just looked sad. And another telling thing, like, CM Punk was like, I don't want to give names of my friends who still work there because I don't want them to get punished for being friends with me. That is so just typical. That is just pathetic. It just, the backyard cliquey mentality of those 4-year-olds who think they are wrestlers. Just fuck off, you bunch of fucking losers. I don't even know what to say at that. It's just mind-blowingly pathetic that people are still like that in 2024. But he also briefly touched on the Vince McMahon allegations, and again said more than I thought he was going to say. Basically was like, when I first read like those text messages, I was like, fuck this guy, fuck this. And he even said this, if those things are true, then lock Vince McMahon in a basement and throw away the key, basically. Just shuffle him to the side and lock him in a basement. And when he said that, I was surprised. I was like, wow. And he did not mince words. He didn't say as much about Vince as he did about all the crap that happened in AEW. But he did go in hard on Vince. A lot harder than, honestly, anyone in that company would have. Because right now, Vince McMahon is basically persona non grata. And Punk even alluded to, like, they're Chris Benoit-ing him now. And it made me think of that promo on Raw last week where it was CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins, where Drew McIntyre was like, I was the chosen one. And Punk was like, oh yeah, who made you the chosen one? What paragon of virtue christened you with the moniker of the chosen one? And there was just silence. And apparently everyone backstage was super uncomfortable with that, which is hilarious. But, again, Punk just going hard. Again, I highly recommend go watch CM Punk's interview with Ariel Helwani. It's very eye-opening. It's nothing super groundbreaking, but it's just confirmation of what everyone has been saying. And my generalized thoughts on the interview with CM Punk, I am slowly but surely gaining back the respect for CM Punk that I lost. I still think that he handled the whole situation poorly. But it seems like a very infuriating situation to be put into the middle of. So while I don't agree with how he handled it, I don't exactly blame him. He should have never been put in that situation to begin with. But my thoughts on that, basically, fuck AEW, fuck Tony Khan, fuck the Young Bucks, and fuck Vince McMahon. So... again, stealing from the Court Martial podcast, I stole your News of the Week segment, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sure that they are going to want to do an episode on that alone, or a News of the Week segment on that alone. So I kind of just stole their thunder. Again, I'm gonna get my ass beat. They're gonna beat my ass because I'm the editor. They're going to find a way to punish me as the editor of CMP, and I am not looking forward to it. But sorry, Sean and Skylar, I kind of buried the lead here, but what do you guys think of the CM Punk Ariel Helwani interview? If you have seen it, if you have not, again, I highly I'm probably gonna put a link in the description for that entire interview for you guys to go watch if you're curious. So again, what are your thoughts on my WrestleMania predictions? What are your thoughts on CM Punk's interview with Ariel Helwani? All this crazy stuff that's been happening. We might have a review for WrestleMania, depending on how Night 2 ends. There might be a review of WrestleMania 40. There might not be a review. But I'm also going to let you guys know some things that are coming up in the future. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the first standalone FF match. The rosters have finally been fused together at XTW FF Fusion. XTW is now a thing. FF is now a thing. Tomorrow is going to be the first official FF standalone match. It is going to be Bayonetta defending the FF YouTube Championship against Kefla in a one-on-one match. Kefla was not very happy about losing the ladder match at Fusion, and she called her shot and missed, so she's kind of embarrassed that she didn't get the job done at Fusion. So she wants a rematch, a one-on-one matchup against Bayonetta, and Bayonetta accepted the challenge. So we're off to the races tomorrow. Bayonetta versus Kefla for the FF YouTube Championship, and I'm so excited for you guys to see that. And I'm also planning on doing a huge championship history video for both XAW and UCT. So be looking forward to that. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and listening. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.